Hi and welcome again to Tech It Out. Today I've got in front of me a Tronic KH3106 power bank, or power cube they call it. It's 12 volt power cube and it has also got outputs for 9 volt, 6 volt, 4.5 and 3 volt. Comes with a cigarette lighter 12 volt output there, 10 amp, and on the back it also has two fixed poles for a full 12 volt output supply. Now I got this the other day for nothing, simply because it's dead. It's completely flat and it's been in the shed or garage for months, if not a year, and the battery inside it's gone completely flat and it won't charge. I've got the power supply underneath, try charging it, nothing whatsoever. So the battery is completely flat. It's a lead acid battery and they tend to be very difficult to take a charge again if they go completely flat. So today I'm going to replace the battery in this, or try to, and we'll see how we go. So the first thing I need to do is get into the actual unit itself. So we'll remove all the screws, obviously. Now one of the reasons I've got this is to do with my filming. I want to do some filming and photography outside. And unfortunately the little batteries that come with my Nikon, they're pretty good. I've got two of them, but they don't last a huge amount of time, especially when you're filming. So what I have is a little converter. Now where do I put it? If I can find it. There we go. This goes in place of the battery, and it's a proprietary part. It comes from Nikon itself. It goes in place of the battery, plugs into the power supply, and away you go. Normally you plug into a mains powered supply, but I wanted something mobile, so I'll be plugging this into the 9 volt as the main supply is also 9 volt. So that's the reason I want it. Now the question is, can it be repaired? Get the rest of these screws out. I have checked the fuses, by the way. There are two fuses on this. One on the front for the main powered in, and one on the back, as you can see here. And both fuses are good. I'm going to have to do something about this as well at some point. Probably just needs a bit of hot glue. So that's the 4 screws off the back out. And let's put that out of the way. It looks like there are some more screws. There are 5 more screws holding it together. Not sure if I'll actually get this down in there. No, I need a different screwdriver. I'll just speed this a little bit up for you. So now we need to get the screws out. It should just fall out if I've done them properly. And now we should be able to open it. I'm going to try opening it from the front, I think. Yep. So there's the battery. So it's a lead acid gel battery. Quite a common battery. Easy to get hold of, and I have got a spare already for that. And then you have the control and step down board here. And the power in on this side. I'm not going to take this apart. I hopefully won't have to. So I think it's working all apart from the battery. But I'm hoping that's the case anyway. The battery, as you can see, is plugged in there to these slots. And they're actually soldered on. So now I'm going to have to do a little bit of unsoldering, I think. Looks like. So let me grab my pair of pliers because I don't want to burn myself. my soldering iron all nicely heated up. It's the first time I've used this iron since I bought it. That's one off. That's the second one. Just bend that over and let's see what they've done here. Looks like they've just soldered that on as well. Taking quite a bit of heating this. It's not a very powerful soldering iron. Not really meant for this size of job. And off it comes. So that's good. Just sweep the orbits of solder away. And the battery is loose. Now, just to show you it is dead, grab my faithful old multimeter. Switch it on. It's set to 20 volts at the moment. So make sure you can see that. And 0.1 of a volt. So it is completely flat, completely dead and useless. Let's move that out of the way for a second then. And bring in the new one. Take the little covers off. And then I can show you on this one what it should read. Turn the probes around the right way might help. 12.7 volts. This will probably need a little bit of charging to take it up to full charge, as it's only just arrived today. Now the other thing I want to do is try and get some of this tape off. I'm not sure if it's going to come off. And we'll try and find some new tape to stop it rattling about inside. So we just plug these two on, turn it around a bit so it's more or less in place. That's the live end, of course, the red. And I think what's happened there is, no, it's me, I'm just not putting it on the right way around. There we go, that's that. I'm not sure whether I need to solder this or not. Don't see any reason to. Just makes it harder to change next time. What I will do though is I'll make that a little bit tighter, a fit, by crimping down the connection slightly. Both nice and tight. And there was one more wire which just slid back there. Which fits back in there. So they're back on. Now I'm just going to try and find a suitable padding to go on the side here and see what I can find. So what I have here are some nice stick-on pads, which are just perfect for the job in hand. So if I put 3 on either side should be enough, I would imagine. Three on the other side. and then carefully drop the battery into place. A little bit tighter fit than the old one. I think it's actually going to need a bit of adjustment because it's a little tiny bit bigger than the old one. Let me just measure them up. Yes, you can see it's a little, that little ridge there is a little bit bigger. About 3 say a centimetre. So what I'll do is I'll just unplug it for the moment. And I'll take out this pin here, I think. Actually, let me just check if it will go into the other side, because I may need to take out the bottom instead. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll adjust the bottom instead. I'll take a cut out at the bottom there, and then put it back together with a new plate across the bottom to hold it in. So, I've got to cut the bottom out now. I put that in place. I can see just about where I want to cut. Just mark the position. Bit of a shame it's a little bit too big, but it doesn't really matter. It was a very inexpensive battery anyway, so I'm not complaining. At the end of the day, I'll have a fully functional power bank for about actually £11.70 it came to UK. The actual battery itself cost me. Just before I do that though, I'm going to just one more look. I'll move that wire out the way. See if we can't get it in. I don't think we can. So I'm going to stop the video now, cut the pieces out, and then come back when I've done that. So we're back now, and what I've done is I've cut down either side and scored along, and all I need to do now is take out the pieces. It's the first time I've used my transformer blade that you saw when I bought it, the Amtech. I do love this blade still. Little things plead little minds. There we go. Let's just straighten that up a bit. As you can see, it's nice and sharp. So now we have the opening. Hopefully it'll all fit inside nice and snug. So let's get the battery back. Connections on. Lift that up a bit so make sure they're in the right place. And now it should just fit there instead. And the top hopefully will just fit on as well. The wires are just holding it out there, I think. I think I need to just trim it a little bit more on the bottom as well, just to get the bottom together. So again, I'll do that now, off camera, so it doesn't bore you to tears. And then we'll do the final fitting back together. So now I have to trim the edges down a bit so that it all fits in. The pads are a little bit thick, but never mind. We can finally start putting it back together. So we can get the screws back in. And I don't think I'm going to need to put anything on the bottom here, because I think the pressure from the sides might actually hold the battery in. So finally just tighten up the bottom ones again. And it's actually come together quite good, even though the battery is a bit bigger than it should have been. I have a friend who's a carpenter who always says measure once, cut twice. I should have measured the battery correctly when I ordered the new one, I suppose. Then I wasn't to know really, was I? The only problem with that is, of course, that I didn't know the size of the battery to order. I thought they were all standard size. But never mind, it's in there securely, it's not going anywhere, it's not coming out, it's not sliding out at all. So we just need to put the side panels back on now with the strap. You see it has been stored for quite a while by the state. All these screws, they're a little bit rusty. Yeah, so it looks as if I'm not going to have to put anything across the bottom at all. The pressure of the casing and those pads I put on are actually holding the battery nice and firmly in place. Switch that off for a moment. And again, I'll speed this up a bit so I can get the last of the 4 screws in the back nice and quickly for you. I've just realised that I'm going to have to take the back off again at some point to stick that fuse back in place with a bit of hot glue. Never mind, that's okay for now, as long as it's working, of course. So that's all the screws back in, everything back in place. So only remains now to test it to see if it is actually working. We'll switch it on, and the charge, it says, is full. The charge light is on now, it wasn't on before. Of course that goes down as the battery discharges, and the battery indicator on and fully charged. So when you're actually charging it, it'll tell you it's on charge and fully charged. Switch it off again for a moment. I'm going to grab the multimeter once more. I'm going to see, as best we can anyway, if we've got power coming out. And there we have 12.69 volts. Turn the switch to the off position, nothing. So that's all working properly. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to check these ones, because might be able to. Don't want to short it out. I'm not going to quite be able to get in there without touching the second pin, unfortunately. So what I'll do is I'll grab my trusty needle again. Always comes in handy, always keep needles around the house. Now I hope you can see that, and we can check. It actually says there's 6 volts coming out to the 3 volt output. The 4.5 volt output has, if I can get it back in place, so here we are back again. Unfortunately the camera battery ran out just as I was doing the test there, and as luck would have it, the battery in the multimeter also ran out at the same time. Couldn't have planned that, could I? But everything does seem to be working. The actual power pack is functioning. I have to do something about that because that's quite annoying. It keeps flapping down all the time. So a little bit of tape on there perhaps just to stop it. And then all I need now is to take this plug off here, put a correct size for this socket, and then you'll be able to plug this in with a bit of a longer lead, of course, and it'll be plugged into the camera. So there we go, changing the battery. albeit with a few modifications to the case, on a 12 volt power cube Tronic KH3106 battery bank. Again, thank you for watching.